Picture this for a second. A global superpower. A city, an empire whose economy basically runs the entire world. Its influence is everywhere. Its products are in every home. Now, imagine all of that power and wealth, just gone. Turned to smoke in 60 minutes.
And you know, that's not some sci-fi plot. It's a single, shocking verse from the book of Revelation. It paints this picture of a total, instantaneous economic collapse. It just sounds impossible, right? How could something so big disappear so fast?
So that's really the big question we're tackling. How on earth can an entire global economic system be just erased in the time it takes to grab lunch? Is this just some kind of poetic exaggeration, or is there something much deeper going on in the text? Well, to figure this out, we can't just stick with the English translation. We have to become linguistic detectives. The real clues, the real meaning, are hidden in the specific Greek words the author chose. So let's start digging. Okay, first things first. We need to really understand the language used to describe the collapse itself. Because this isn't just a stock market crash. The words here paint a picture that is way more violent. Super specific about the timing. Mia hora, in 1 hour. It's not a slow decline, not a gradual recession. It's a sudden, catastrophic, lights-out moment. The sheer speed of it is the first major shock. Now here's the key verb. What actually happened to all this wealth? The English translation often says it came to naught, which sounds kind of soft, right? Passive. But the Greek word is eremothi. And that one word, it changes everything. Eremothe doesn't mean to just fade away. It means to be violently ripped apart, to be laid waste, to be stripped bare until there is nothing left. This is an act of total and complete destruction.
So you see the difference here? It's huge. We're not talking about a gentle disappearance. We're talking about a forceful annihilation. The entire economic machine wasn't just bankrupted, it was actively and violently dismantled.
And get this, the author's choice of eiremothe was no accident. This exact same word pops up in other critical places to describe absolute ruin, like a kingdom that collapses from the inside out, or a home that's been left desolate. By using this specific word, the author is tying Babylon's economic fall to this much bigger biblical theme of divine judgment. And what was it that got laid waste? Ho plutos ho tos sutos. The Greek here really doubles down on the sheer scale of it all. Not just riches, but so great riches, an amount that's almost impossible to even imagine. A staggering global fortune, just turned to dust. But the question is, who was watching this all happen? You see, the text doesn't just show us the fire. It zooms in on the people who are watching it from a safe distance. And who they are is one of the biggest clues in this whole mystery. I mean, look at this list of witnesses. It's basically a complete roll call of the entire global shipping industry. You've got the captains, the passengers, the crews, literally everyone whose job depends on the sea. These are the people who made Babylon's global system run. They were the engine. And what are they doing as their whole world burns? The text tells us they makrothenes. Now, this little phrase is just as critical as the words describing the destruction itself. It means they stood far away, they kept their distance. They're close enough to see the smoke, close enough to cry about their lost profits, but they're far enough away to not get burned by the judgment. They are just spectators to the collapse of the very system they helped create. And here is where it all starts to click into place. That phrase, stood afar off, it's not a one-off. It's used just a couple verses earlier to describe the merchants. But even more importantly, the Gospel of Luke uses that exact same phrasing to describe the religious leaders who stood at a distance watching the crucifixion. This is not a coincidence. This parallel is intentional, and it's the key to this whole thing. So let's put all the pieces together. We've got this sudden, 1 hour total destruction of wealth. And we have a group of witnesses, the ones who benefited from the system, standing afar off, a phrase that echoes another huge moment in history. This is the question that unlocks the whole passage. Why create this deliberate link? The author is telling us that the fall of this massive economic empire isn't just about some event in the future. It's a mirror, a reflection of something that already happened. And this is where it all snaps into focus. Just look at these parallels side by side. Babylon collapses in 1 hour, which mirrors Jesus saying his hour had come on the cross. The judgment on Babylon's corrupt system of commerce reflects the judgment that fell on the old religious economy of the temple. The merchants standing afar off are a perfect reflection of the leaders standing afar off at the cross. And the outcome? It's the same. Things that were once seen as priceless, whether it's gold and silk or religious rituals, are suddenly made worthless.
And you know, this isn't even a new theme. The cries of the sailors over Babylon sound almost exactly like a much older prophecy from Ezekiel, where they're crying over the fall of another great merchant city, Tyre. It's this recurring pattern in the text. When a great commercial power falls, the people who got rich from it are left weeping on the sidelines. So when we put all of our linguistic clues together, the real story emerges. This passage is using the language of an economic apocalypse to make a deeply spiritual point. The trade by sea is the flow of worldly systems and influence. Standing afar off is about seeing judgment but refusing to change. The 1 hour points directly to the cross as the ultimate moment of judgment. And the riches made desolate? That shows us that in the light of that one event, all other systems of value, whether they're based on money or religion, are rendered obsolete. And that leaves us with a pretty challenging final thought, doesn't it? The text uses this image of a fallen ancient empire to make a timeless point. And it really forces us to look around and ask, what are the great cities in our own time? What are the complex systems of wealth, power, and influence that we all depend on, that we think are indestructible, that could, in the blink of an eye, be laid waste?